Welcome to an episode of the Outlet brought to you by our friend EARTH marketing team. If you want a little help on your Indiegogo or your Kickstarter, contact Kevin Gillette over at the EARTH marketing team at www.EARTH.marketing. And speaking of which, we'd like to remind you that Monty Michael Moore's Loco Hero 2 is back with more action and more of everything. It launches July the 6th, which, by the way, on a footnote, is the same day that Monty will be joining us back here on the Creators Outlet. So stay tuned for more of that. Right now, we'd like to welcome our good friend and creator for many years, Rusty Gilligan. Welcome, sir.
How you doing, my good friend? It's nice to see you again.
Good. So we have a little trading card set of earth-shattering proportions, I see.
Yeah, my studio is releasing a card set. We did really well with The Wizard of Oz, and we did really well with our Pulp magazine covers. And we hope to do really good with this. It's called the EARTH Trembles. It's dinosaur exhibits from around the world. If you've ever seen at some of the fantastic museums, they have the real-life looking dinosaurs, the models, on and on and on. These are dinosaur exhibits. They look literally like live dinosaurs. Some of them are matched to size, painted beautifully. We have pictures from Russia, China, all over the world, United States included, as well as the backs have trivia and jokes. The backs have information about the dinosaurs, other artwork, other facts, etc. And there's so many features with the set. This is actually a set that's been in the making for 2 years.
Wow.
So even through all the other sets that we've done, we were working on this in the background. There's laser cut wooden cards. There's holofoil stickers. Aside from the beautiful sketch cards, they actually open up like actual dinosaurs. So this would be like the front, and then they actually open up, and then the artwork. Cool. This is one that's in progress that I'm working on with Jay Moores. Actually, this is the artwork on the back, so that the cards actually open up. And we decided that we were going to do something we thought nice, a combination of for the collectors, the kids, the gifts, people who like get into gift sets. This is also for people into dinosaurs and into the museum fair. There's relic cards also. The relic cards actually have either 100 of them have megalodon teeth actually affixed to the card, and
wow.
And fossils. And the majority of the cards have stamps from all over the world. So you may get a dinosaur stamp from Romania, or a dinosaur stamp from France, or a fossil stamp from Belgium. We have literally almost every country in the world represented for the stamps. And some cards have a tooth and a stamp, or two stamps at the same time. So there's a lot of special stuff involved, and there's a lot of original art on the page as well. So without sounding too self-serving, I hope that people take a look. There's a funny video there where some of the creators and myself play voices for the animated characters, and it introduces the whole set. And we would love it if people would go check it out.
Well, I have gone over and sniped the Mac and Trouble Rusty Gilligan account over on Twitter, so I can bring up the Indiegogo, and we can watch the video and have a little fun.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun. We had some good times.
Something not off on the dinosaur topic, but off topic from the cards. Of course, like every little boy, we all loved dinosaurs growing up. Some of us a little more because we were like glued Saturday morning to the original Land of the Lost.
That's right.
With the not too good stop motion dinosaurs back in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
I was so obsessed with dinosaurs when I was a kid that and airplanes that my mother had bought me a couple of hardcover books, and one was how to draw airplanes and other flying machines, and one was nothing but dinosaurs. And she bought them for me when I was like 3 years old, and I still have them. They were a gift to me from my mom back in 1972.
That's great.
God, I feel old.
I remember. Funny you say Saturday morning. I remember after the cartoons were over and after wrestling programs were over on various, backward UHF channels, we would get the Godzilla movies. We would see, 1 Million BC. We would see all the Ray Harryhausen stuff, on and on and on. I remember Lost World and a couple of the other type of shows. I was a big dinosaur nut when I was a kid, not so much to remember the names and get very much into paleontology. I just was fascinated by the subject, which actually makes you, I think, more of a fan because, you're not studying it. It's not a field of study for you. You just have a passion and a love for it, But this set has a lot of people, the artists. There's more than 40 artists that are working on this set. It's a small set, but the sketch cards are the real catch for the set. Whenever you get like Topps baseball cards or Upper Deck like Marvel cards or what have you, usually you have to get a random drop. So like maybe 1 out of 50 packs might have a sketch card, and that's the big thing. Every one of these sets comes with a sketch card, and some come with 2 as a bonus.
Oh, nice.
And yes, so this is, I don't want to say rare because a lot of the small press publishers have been doing, the one sketch card per set as a hook, which is great. But this isn't a sexy girl set. This isn't a superhero or comic book type set. Being that it's dinosaurs, it's a little different. Getting the sketch cards is a boon for the collectors.
Well, I definitely want to give a shout out to your good friend Jay Moores, which I happen to know, and we know you guys have gone back on these card sets for quite a while. I remember interviewing you and him separately for the Dynamite Vampirella set.
Right, great set, and a great company, and. The funny thing is when you work for these companies, sometimes you get terrible art directors. I hate to say it because it's rude to people, and I don't mean it to be, but they kind of forget what being an artist under an art director is like. Mm-hmm. So they're, and then they're an art director. But Mariano, who's the art director over there that we work under, is a fantastic guy and a really good friend. And I really like doing stuff for Dynamite. They're actually a favorite company of mine.
Oh yeah, I love a lot of the stuff they put out. But a lot of the stuff they put out is stuff that I've been following since I was a kid. That they just brought back to the forefront.
All that Golden Age stuff.
Oh yeah, I want to also give a big thank you to Kenneth DeJong, who's been watching and gave this episode a big thumbs up. And a thank you to Jason Shoemaker Art for subscribing to my channel.
Wonderful. Jason's a great guy. He's actually one of the artists on this set, too.
Well, in that case, let us take a look at this set. And first, I want to I want to take a look at the video because we might recognize a voice or two because somebody here might have some acting in their background.
And I'll shut up.
Here's a hint. It wasn't me. I was in one play when I was in elementary school. That was it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new dinosaur set, The Earth Trembles. Let me try that again. The Earth Trembles. Ooh, scary. Our set is based on dinosaur figures from around the world.
Ooh, everyone loves dinosaurs.
Well, where'd you come from? Anyway, the cards display some beautiful photos that center on exhibits from national museums to outdoor dino parks. Also part of the set are these great relic cards with actual megalodon teeth and dinosaur stamps from around the world.
Around? Oh, gee, I thought the world was flat. Well, there's some great add-ons as well. Is it my turn to talk?
Hiya, Terry. I was just about to tell these cavemen about some of the great features in the set. Why don't you take over for me while I go eat someone? I mean, something.
Aside from the base cards, we have some great stuff, oh boy. Beautiful sketch cards that fold over to look like a dinosaur roaring. Watch this. Wow, where did that hand come from? The sketch artists come from around the world and are among the best in the hobby.
Don't forget about the reward.
Who was that guy? Well, I was just getting to the rewards, like this really neat hollow foil sticker.
And don't forget, there's some laser cut wooden cards featuring some cool art.
Hey, I was getting to that.
I didn't want you to forget, just like the limited edition signed playing cards.
I know.
And the beautiful sketch covers.
Come on, you guys. You're stealing my lines.
Then there's the signed postcards, the silly dinosaur stickers, dinosaur charms.
And the vintage dinosaur attack cards. Yay!
Who is that guy?
Hello, everyone. This is Rusty at Rusty Inc. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the campaign. What my dinosaur friends didn't tell you about was the digital cards that we're focusing on. It's kind of a brand new thing. The digital cards are representing the artists in the campaign, and you'll also see some cards that aren't included in the base set. So we thank you for contributing, and we hope to see more of you in the future.
Very cool.
Yeah, the video was done with some actual great voices, aside from Jay Moores and myself that played two parts. There's also Chris Olson, who played Ook, and Dina Rennan, who played Annie, the Ankylosaurus, the brown dinosaur there. She's a fantastic model and actress. We were very lucky. It was actually produced in the UK. The same producer that's working with my studio for the Mac and Trouble cartoon film that we're currently in the production of, Michael Doss at Bombitos Network. So we really, like I said, this has been 2 years in the making, and we really went out with everything that we've got.
I mean, it looks great, and the those wooden cards look awesome.
They're very special. There's only 10 of them made. They're numbered, and uniquely, they're signed by the artist as well as signed by the laser operator as well. So it's almost like they have a certificate of authenticity to them by having the laser operator sign them as well, because they're numbered 1 to 10, and that's all that's made.
Oh, very cool. So those are a big get in this set.
Yeah, when you get the set, it actually grows since the total of the campaign has gone over to the goals. It's at 200% right now, and or at 204 or 205, whatever. It went over its goal, so this 9-card set just became a 12-card set. And when it hits another goal in the future, it'll become a 15-card set. We keep adding at goals. So, but there's some very unusual things here, like the postcard that you don't normally see. This postcard is actually like having a 4x6 mini print, and it's signed by the artist, and it's actually personally mailed right to the person's address. So it has kind of a personalization to it. The wooden laser cards are great, and the playing cards are a very unusual thing. Every time we've ever done them in our campaign, they've always done exceptionally well, especially the Wizard of Oz ones. They did exceptionally well. What it is it's only one set of the playing cards is made, literally just one. So there's only 52 original cards. If somebody gets the 2 of spades or the 3 of diamonds or ace of hearts, whatever, that's the only one of its kind. So they get a signed playing card with, in this one, I think there's 2 signed playing cards in one, but they get the signed playing card, and that's literally the only printed one there is. Imagine opening up a pack of trading cards, and the baseball card that you get is the only one ever made. That's about the way the feeling is with the playing cards.
Yeah, and for baseball aficionados, that would be like one big time collector owning the only Mickey Mantle card ever.
Exactly, that was the feeling behind it. And playing cards have kind of a unusual place in trading cards as well, because they're close to the same size. People do collect them the same, and there are now collectors that are getting the cards autographed by people, which is kind of cool. People are doing little sketches on the cards. There's also the World Series of Poker, all the celebrities that are involved, so people are getting them signed. Various sets and comic book Kickstarters and Indiegogos, etc., have been using, trading cards. So as a trading card set, we're using the playing cards as a reward. And I think it like I said, we've done very well with our last few campaigns with the playing cards, sold out both times. It's just a rare collectible that's a lot of fun,
Yeah, it's good to have like different things, because you see so many of the same. Like, well, the set's different, but I see the same thing with this set and that set as bonuses, but these aren't. These are totally different.
One other thing that's very different, and then I'll be quiet because I don't want to, be all up in this, but I'll tell you one other thing that's really good is every time somebody does sketch cards for the set, let's say, for example, Jay did a ton of sketch cards for the set, beautiful artist, and people will get one of his originals if they're lucky enough inside their pack, along with other artists as well. The whole list of the artists is right there on the page. So we've taken artwork from each of the sketch artists, and we've made them into digital cards. If you scroll down a little bit towards the bottom, you'll actually get to see some of the digital cards. Or if you go to where the updates section is at the top, you'll actually see a lot. That's actually maybe a good place to go, is go to the updates section. See, those are actually digital cards. Not only are those real sketch cards that they've been scanned from, but these are digital versions. All the artists' names are there. They're separately numbered. Like I said, there's more than 40 artists on the set. And in this case, each one gets featured on a card. So I have never seen this with a set before. I thought it was a very interesting way of promoting the set. Each of the artists pushes their card and the link of the set. It's actually a very creative way to encourage collectors towards getting commissions, because each of the artists also gets artist proofs and special cards when the set is released.
And I see a Triceratops down here with, I believe, Ken Hunt's signature.
Yeah, Ken Hunt's a good friend of mine. Fantastic artist. Yeah.
That's him. I got that from him back in 2013.
He's a wonderful guy. Him and his wife Joyce, they're a fantastic couple. I miss seeing them at shows.
Yeah, I got to talk at that show. I got to meet them both and talk at length. And of course, a friend of both of ours that passed away the other year from Timely Comics, who was best known for all his early Captain America work, was at the table right next to him. So,
wow.
You know, I must have spent like about a good hour and a half between those two tables.
Alan was a fantastic guy.
Oh yeah, he was so nice. I was so glad I got to see him. Sadly, not too long before he passed, but I got to see him and tell him, you know, how good it was to see him and his wife, and you know, so it made me feel better that I got to see him before, you know, something terrible happened, and
right,
you know, and he had remembered me. You know, I'm hard to forget. You know, or at least that's what the police tell me.
There you go. I remember the first time I met Alan was on the circuit. We were both doing shows. I was down the road from him. And then the last time I saw him was at a Rhode Island Comic Con. He was across from another friend of mine, Steranko, and we were chatting. His wife Braz was there, and he was sketching for something for somebody. Always had time for a photo, a handshake, the fighting pose with the fist up, or holding the Captain America shield. You know, it's funny, guys like him, Martin O'Dell, who created Green Lantern, Gray Morrow, who I had the pleasure of working with, and Gil Kane, who I had the pleasure of working with, even Steve Ditko, they really didn't get the due that they were supposed to. They were names and they were known, but they were heroes in the industry. The great thing about Alan Bellman was his art was very organic. It was very pure. He had a very strong and very vivid imagination, and he had a love for the fans, and it showed in his work. It really did. He had also a very strong consistency between his page work and his commissions. If you ever find pictures of his commissions, you'll see they look just like the work that he did for his pages. A lot of times, artists who work on pages, sometimes the commissions are rushed, or they have a little bit of a different quality because, you know, it's not commercial worthy. But in this case, he was, like I said, he was very organic, and everything was very solid. There was continuity in his work. So But fantastic guy. I loved him to death. He was fantastic. Um, but what can you do? And another artist who I was friends with for I'd say over 25 years, who was a huge influence to me. And he was also a client of mine at one time. I used to handle him for work. Was Rich Buckler.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I loved him to death. I really did. He was a fantastic guy. We knew each other through the mail, through the email, and over the phone for so many years, and finally met in person at a couple of shows. And I was lucky enough to grab some pictures with him. But it's funny the bonds that you make, even over the internet with people in the industry.
Oh yeah. It's just crazy because I've made so many of those like over like the last year or so, and a few years prior, when I would cover the local convention circuit and stuff,
Sure.
which was always a blast for me. Was with the press really? I go, well, that's what they told me as soon as I passed them the envelope under the table. So it's like, oh, you can do that? I go, no, you can't do that. I actually write for a place that I don't get paid for. This is my payment once a year. They'll set me up at a con. So,
It's like that old Three Stooges bit. The three of them walked into an event and they show their badges, and he goes, press. The other one goes, press. And then Curly walks in and he goes, pull. We honor the members of the pull.
Oh yeah. Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine. So let me ask you, these digital cards, are these like NFTs at all?
No, because I don't own the art, and I honor the artists by not really, by not taking advantage of them. If they want to turn these into NFTs, if they, and the reimbursement art processes that go along with it, because there's another program as well, they're more than welcome to, without my, with my graces and permission. I could care less. But I don't like to take advantage of people. It's used to promote the artist for commissions and their participation in the set, and it's used to promote the set. Actually, and here they print out like regular cards, 2.5 by 3.5 size, and just like in the video, people do save them. As a matter of fact, I belong to a group on Facebook, and they constantly talk about collecting digital cards and printing them out and putting them in the 9-pocket pages, whatever. I tell people all the time, print them out if you want, download them all. That's what they're there for. But I don't want to take advantage of the artists. This is up to them if they want to do that. My interest is promoting the set, and I'm very thankful that these artists signed on to do it. They're all great artists with their own styles, which is why they were asked to be on the set, pushing their individual styles. If you notice, just by looking at those 4 cards on the screen, it's not like the same artist did each one. Each individual style is
oh yeah, they're all completely different. Yeah,
and that's what I like, because no dinosaur was alike. No fossil is alike. No plant life from the prehistoric period is alike. And a couple of the artists took some interesting choices with the cards. They decided to do scenes. Some did headshots. Some were painted. There are a couple of black and white. Some are grayscaled. If I remember correctly, a couple of the cards even featured fossils as well. So this set really pushed the limit. It did.
Yeah, because Nelson's card is a skeleton.
Right. Yep. And just like on that screen there, the Janimal did a cartoony version, which is his style. That is perfectly his style. A little bit lower, David Fox did a really, really nice rendition of that dinosaur's head area, like a headshot, in other words. Dismembered from the body. Others did full, like the one above it. Each explores each artist's individual style.
Yeah, it's all interesting because it's all different.
Right. I try to, whenever I do a set and artists come in, I always tell them, you have to make it your style. A lot of times new artists will come to me and they'll say, how is this? How does this look? On and on and on. And that's fine. And I like to bring in new artists because a lot of the larger companies aren't bringing in new artists, the undiscovered talent or what have you. And I always say to myself, how do you get work if you don't have a resume of sets? Or comic jobs, or like an actor, how do you get a resume with, how do you fill your resume with jobs if nobody gives you a chance? It's that catch-22. You need experience to get a job, but if you don't have experience, there's no job. So I like to bring in people, who deserve a shot. Sometimes I'll coach them along or give them pointers. Sometimes I just let them loose. But to me, there's no, when it comes to doing these cards, there's no bad choices. These are all original, one-of-a-kind pieces of artwork. If you look up sketch cards on eBay or Amazon or some of the other sites, you can see how rare and how expensive some of them can go for. And who knows what the value of a card will go up to. One of the cards that I did artwork for on our Wizard of Oz set sold for $200.
Wow.
So you never know, and I've heard other stories too. So you never know, but this is a fantastic set of artists. I back each and every one of them. They're great.
I'm looking at like all these cards and all these different wonderful dinosaurs, but I have not seen any of the Herculoids yet.
I would have loved to have done a Herculoid set. Unfortunately, licensing will literally put you in hock, but I would have loved to have done that.
Somewhere behind me, I actually have part one of the 3-part Toonami set from 2003.
Oh, wow.
I have the Xandor and Zoc set, and I looked it up, and it's the cheapest I could find one for posted online for sale was around $400 to $450.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I mean, I love the piece, but I don't have any room for it really. And $450 would be a nice envelope for my daughter for when she goes back to school shopping. So
yep, I know. Listen, the virus and the quarantine has caused the entertainment field and the collectibles field to rise in value. I've seen comics and trading cards go up. I've seen the music scene go up. People have started podcasts. I've worked so steady during the quarantine. Now, obviously, the virus is no joke. God bless those who have gotten it and have passed, and the survivors' families, etc. But I have to say, during the quarantine periods, I've gotten so much work, it's not even funny. I've done voices for a few cartoons. I just did voice for a sci-fi movie. Coming up, I'm going to be doing the voice for a mobster film. I've done artwork for other companies' sets and comics. I've released 2 of my own during this time. And we've got another one coming on the heels of this. Literally, when this one is finished, it'll be a week and another one will be up. And this one's a series that'll be, volume 1, volume 2, etc. And it features 2 different kinds of trading cards that have never been seen in the hobby before. So there's going to be some amazing stuff coming up. But I've done a couple of film posters. I actually even did a live role in a film. So there's honestly this quarantine, just for me sitting at home on my big butt, I got to do a lot of work.
It's not many people that can say 2020 been very, very good to me.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to say it, and it makes you feel guilty when you finally admit it. But the hard part is that I did pretty good during that time. I kind of wish a lot of artists would have followed suit. I keep hearing people saying, "Oh, I did terrible. I haven't gotten a commission in a long time. I haven't done this. I haven't done that." And I keep thinking to myself, wasn't it just a couple of years ago when people said, "Wow, I really need a day off. Wow, I really need a vacation. I wish I could go home. I'm quote unquote working for the weekend," and on and on and on. Well, you could have written the great American novel during this time. You could have done a whole comic or 2, or started a series. You could have done a podcast. You could have done hundreds of sketch cards as fast as some of the artists are. We mentioned Jay Moores before. I've seen him do 10 cards in a day and still do other work. And then, imagine the prices you could be getting, especially, there was a lot of buying during these periods.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel bad for those people that didn't jump on the pony and ride,
Well, I don't do anything like that. I do the podcast, but I did contribute to many people because I looked on my Indiegogo and Kickstarter account, and I have apparently backed 32 projects since this whole thing started.
And the funny thing is, being a fan is a very important role in the industry. Just because there's a big name drawing a comic or a big name voicing a character on a cartoon, or some publisher putting out a set based on some big name character, it's the fans that support everything that we do. So being just going to a store and buying a book for $5, $10, $15 or card set, whatever, is important. But the ones who are backing the projects on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, and all the rest are very important. We say the same thing, and it's written at the bottom of our campaign. We like interacting with the fans. It's very easy for us to go to a middleman and have a distributor distribute these someplace and bypass going to Kickstarter and Indiegogo, but we like to go direct to keep the prices down and to interact directly with the fans. I've made some very strong friendships and relationships based on some of the projects that we've released direct. You don't have that kind of interaction when you go through a distributor.
Oh, no, not at all. Well, I got this commission, and you might see a running a running similarity after seeing Ken Hunt's piece. But I got this from an artist from the Netherlands.
Wow. See, that's awesome. To me, that's worth whatever you paid for it. Something like that is fantastic support.
And he's been on the show a bunch of times, and he's been on CromCon with Pops on a regular basis. And
Pops is great.
He was kind enough to send me the first 3 issues of his comic, and it's done in a little bigger than UK size. So it's full blown magazine, 2000 AD size.
That's great.
And he was, and he's been getting better and doing more and more and being seen more and more on various podcasts and shows and getting his name out there. That he launched the Kickstarter or the Indiegogo rather of his newest book. His series is called Life on Korra. It's very interesting, and they're all basically one shots, and they're all ages books, which is something I love.
Yeah, me too. I don't care for. Well, it's kind of a thing with me, and it's not worth really going into in depth. But I'm not really a like an R-rated person, or like I don't care for the mature audience stuff. In the news in the past year, we've seen things like, oh, Batman goes nude, or this latest sex thing with Catwoman, which I won't go into, or characters being ripped apart and it's all bloody and on and on and on and whatever. And the same thing with the television shows, political stuff and whatever. There's a lot of politics in comics now. I shy away from a lot of that. All of the stuff that I do is all ages. It's family entertainment. Wizard of Oz set, family. The Sexy Scary Space, which was the pulp set, was designed so that it literally was not a mature set. It's a historical set. There was, pulp covers on the front, and obviously they appeared on newsstands. They might not have been the greatest subject matter in the world, but none of it was revealing or sexual in nature, a little risque. So we're talking about maybe, a 17, 18-year-old audience. But, and then this set, all ages. My comics are all ages. Why limit your audience? I that's what I find. If you have a mature book, you may slice, part of your audience off. If you have an all ages book, family entertainment, and you make it really attractive and appealing, you add to your audience. So, and that's one of the reasons why I do these sets and I do the comics that I do, and I keep the prices down. A lot of people have told me, oh, this set should go for more. It's not. We've been keeping the prices down on everything. We're actually making it more goal-oriented. So the more people invest in the set, the larger the set becomes. Same thing with our comic. We started out, it was a 48-page comic for the Symbol, which is our patriotic hero. And people invested, and the comic book grew, and it became a larger book. We did the same thing with a magazine that we ran back in the 90s. Our Halloween issue was a 96-page issue when it was normally just a 32-page book. So we've always been in that family-oriented mindset. It's expensive to collect. I don't like to nickel and dime anybody. That's one of the reasons why when I went to shows as a guest, I would always give away trading cards and do signatures for free. The people who come to the table are the ones that support us. I could understand big names getting books, famous books signed and asking for a couple of bucks for their signature because, people slab them and then they pop them up on eBay or whatever, resellers, whatever. But, I have limited notoriety with what I do. I'm not a big guy. I always tell people I'm a little amoeba in a big ocean rather than saying I'm a big fish in a small pond. I'm a piece of sand on the beach. So I enjoy what I get.
Now, let me ask you about this prototype sketch card because there's only one available.
Only one. It literally is the actual prototype for the card that opens and closes, as I told you before. And I knew you were going to bring it up, so I actually have it right here. There's only one of these. This is artwork that was featured that's going to be featured in the set, and it's the actual prototype sketch card, the actual fold out. It's literally 20-point card stock with the image actually glued to it. It was a prototype that was used for the initial film. And on the blank side, whoever wants to invest and get it, I'll actually put a black and white dinosaur sketch on it. So aside from being a sketch card, it's also the only prototype of its kind. There's no other with this artwork, these photos, this design, which was changed because you could look at the other sketch cards there, and they're totally, they're totally different. But this is the difference in how it was done. This one here being the prototype, but the backs went from one to another. This is the new one. This is the original. So it is literally available. I actually had really good luck with the prototype on a trading card set I did a couple of years ago, based on my comic book, Mac and Trouble Ruined the Golden Age. It was a Golden Age trading card set, and we took Golden Age comic book covers and inserted Mac and Trouble, the two cats, into each situation and changed the cover. And each card had jokes on the back and information. They featured the original covers, stuff like Daredevil, Phantom Lady, Black Bolt, Target comics, on and on and on. And we had 5 prototypes for the relic cards. And the relic cards were actual swatches from the front of comic books that were destroyed. We had gotten donations and purchased comic books from all over the country, boxes of them. And what we would do is there were, the comic covers or panels, and they would literally be cut and affixed to the front of the card. So every one got a piece of an original. One lady pulled a early Tales of Suspense that had Captain America's picture on it, and she wound up reselling it for like $75.
Wow.
There were Golden Age and Silver Age comics from all different companies. There were a couple of original books from Marvel. We had gotten coverless books that were ripped in half. It's very funny how many things that people, hang on to. We had a library send us a whole box of comics that were just destroyed, and they had nothing that they could do with them. The books had, kind of a value to some people, but when they were affixed to the relic cards and they were identified like that, I'll tell you, it became a very big seller. People really enjoyed it. We sold out of those relic cards, but the 5 prototype cards went as a reward in the campaign. Very popular. People enjoy that. There's only one of a kind, and they're basically used for a combination of testing, talk to investors. Sometimes the videos are made based on the prototypes. Because that's what we needed to do. We needed to show our printer what it was going to look like before it was designed. We had to get quotes. We had to show it to people who were on the set, because the art came in long before the cards were printed. We had to get contracted with each of the artists long before the cards were printed. And, for some collectors, this is a very rare thing. It's just like getting film to a card set. There are some that have like the film that they put into the packs, or the plates that they put into the packs. I saw this in a baseball card set. They had the plate, the actual printing plate was actually inserted into the trading card pack, and it was the only one in the world. So it's literally like getting a one of a kind. So these prototypes are very, unusual. It's homegrown. It's green. It's paper stuck together and it's signed by somebody. But when you're the only one that's got it, sometime in the future, it's a very cool talking point. It's a very cool collectible, and it can be a really good investment too.
Oh, yeah. And what I want to let the podcast listeners know, obviously, all the stuff we're looking at, you can come over to YouTube, to the Creators Outlet channel on YouTube, and see all the images on top of going to the Indiegogo campaign, which will be listed when you go and read like all the fine prints on this episode later on tonight. But what I want to let everybody know is that this prototype, one-of-a-kind sketch card is currently on sale for $25. It was originally $100.
Yeah, we try to be fair with the values, and because of the fact that I'm different than a lot of people, for good or bad, because of the fact that this is a campaign. And a lot of these small press publishers, comics, cards, etc., alike, are using these as to raise funds for their project, to produce their project, on and on and on. We try to keep the prices down. We like to see people invest. I would love to have 1,000 contributors to the campaign and serve every one of them and have them all be happy with something. It's the marble theory. You can have a giant boulder in your way. One person makes, a $10,000 contribution, or you can have 10,000 people each make $1 contribution. I would personally rather have more people,
Mm-hmm.
I very much enjoy the fans, especially when I did, comic shows. I've done over 500 Comic-Con and personal appearances, store openings, etc., and event signings. And I just recently had to stop because of my back. So I'm probably not going to be doing any more conventions, at least for a while anyway, because it's just very hard on my back. Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes we would have as many as 25 dates in a year.
Oh yeah, I know. I know. Plenty, but lots of other creators like local to me, illustrators. A good friend of mine, Tim, that is the creator of the Sour Grapes news strip. Tim Jones, and if there's a whisper of a show at a farmer's market, at a big convention, at a VFW post, Tim will be there.
That's the way. It's funny. That's the way I am. I don't really sign up for them. I would always be asked to be a guest, which is what I enjoyed the most, being a guest at shows. But I would go to anything. I've gone from San Diego Comic-Con, Rhode Island Comic-Con, Wizard shows, all the way down to the one-day high school shows. I would sign at stores. I would sign at movie openings and events. I remember one time I had actually been chosen as one of a large group of artists to do a Dr. Seuss picture, and it was on his birthday about 10 years ago. I actually sat in the post office here in Pennsylvania and signed free pictures. They were little prints of my artwork on the Dr. Seuss artwork. I thought it was, fantastic. I didn't get paid for it. It wasn't a big deal, but I very much enjoyed doing the live appearance. Not only did I talk to comic fans, but just the average person who walked into the post office for a stamp. I signed at my son's school. I have my oldest two are twins, and at my son's school, they had a comic book night where every room had like a different theme to it, and because I had worked on Spider-Man 2 and 3, the films, I sat there and I signed Spider-Man prints and Spider-Man trading cards for the 3 or 4 hours that they had the event. You know, you don't get paid for them, these weird events, but it's great to interact with people. You would not believe how many kids came up wanting to take a picture, wanting a hug, sign my shirt, sign my book. Hey, I brought a trading card. Can you draw a Spider-Man head for me? Can I have 2 of those because my brother is at home? Blah blah blah. Honestly, a lot of fun. I love interacting with people. I'm going to miss doing shows.
Yeah, it's always good to get out and meet the fans. It's like a whole different level of euphoria to meet people that love the stuff that you've helped to do.
And I've made some fantastic relationships with people. I still get people saying, "I remember when you were at fill in the blank. I still have your card. Your picture's on my wall in a frame. Here it is, blah, 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 blah." I had one fan that was really bad off. She had a fire and she lost all of her stuff, all of her collectibles and everything. And she said, "But your picture didn't get burned up." And she was like pointing. She was walking through the house with her cell phone camera on, and it was just devastation. I mean, there's no way to put it. It was just all burnt out. And there's a wall with like 3 or 4 different commissions that she had, a comic page, whatever. And my Daredevil picture, I think it was hanging on the wall. And, it brings a tear to your eye. It was a very heartwarming thing. I've done pictures for people's birthdays and, for their charity events. As a matter of fact, sometime this week, I have to do a couple of charity pictures. So, the Loki picture. Joe was a fantastic artist.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Him and his son and his wife and his grandson, fantastic people. I enjoy looking at his son's pictures, his animal pictures online. And Joe's grandson is quite the writer, too. He's been accepted into many books and anthologies.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, fantastic.
I got to meet Joe a couple of times, but I was able to talk to him at length at a show in Framingham some years ago.
Uh-huh.
And somewhere in this collection of a mess, I have an original Helena Wayne Huntress sketch that he did.
Wow, that's awesome.
That I bought up off him at the show. Plus, of course, the piece we just showed was from the Joe Sinat Inking Challenge from Bob Almond's fundraiser for Inkers.
Right.
And you inked and added some original art to that page because inkers are embellishers.
Actually, I just got done inking a picture for them for their brand new challenge. The artist Ron Friends did a Thor. So if you get a chance, make sure you look up the Inkwell Awards and take a look at some of the beautiful artwork and interpretations by the inkers there. Bob Amon runs the Inkwell Awards, and this time it was Ron Friends, and he did a beautiful piece based on the Marvel character Thor.
I will definitely check that out because my friend Thomas, who co-hosts OK Boomer, the podcast with me on Thursday nights, where we talk about older comics like Gold and Silver, Bronze Age stuff, is a huge Thor fan.
That's awesome.
And I will definitely point that out to him. I'm friends with Bob, online, and we've talked, at length at shows and stuff. And Inkwell Awards is one of the few people on eBay that I have tagged that as soon as they post something, I get a notification.
Yeah, Bob is a great guy. He's also a fantastic inker. He's done insane work for the companies that he's worked for. Um, Definitely a consummate pro.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I never lose an occasion to whip out your Loki, especially now with the Loki show on Disney. It's like,
Yeah, that's fantastic. By the way, I tell you, we really have been enjoying it. What is it, up to the third episode now? We're really enjoying it.
third episode tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay. And then another one that we've been enjoying on Netflix is it's based on the DC series. It's not a superhero series, but it's called Sweet Tooth. And
the Jeff Lemire book. Yeah.
I have to tell you, it's not what I expected. It's fantastic. It really is. It's a very engrossing plot. I enjoy apocalyptic settings, alternate realities, zombies, end of the world type stuff, Walking Dead things.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a definite twist. Somebody put a lot of work into the backstory on this one. It also translated really good from the book to the screen.
Yeah, I read the entire first volume of that when it first came out. That's when I didn't know who Jeff Lemire was.
Right.
And now, every year if there's on various podcasts from my friends, if they're voting, favorite writer for this year, every year, as far as I'm concerned, is Jeff Lemire, because he's always putting out 15 or 20 books a month for 10 different publishers.
Well, he's a fantastic creator. He reminds me of a modern day Roy Thomas.
Oh yeah.
So he has something really special. I was very disappointed to find out that Jupiter's Legacy isn't going to continue. I was really, really upset about that. We got deep into that. We binge watched that in a couple of days. Like, we were glued to the TV. We were like, hey, guess what, I think this is going to happen, and guess who this is, and look, there's an Easter egg there, and all of a sudden it's like, we got to wait a year until the next one, and then boom, we get that notice that it's not coming back. And the funny thing is, the ratings were spectacular for it. Everybody liked it. It's to me, it was almost like a live action Invincible. And I really enjoyed Invincible. I'm not a person that's into the bloody aspect. I thought Invincible was a little too bloody, but I understand that, that's the way the original comic was. So for continuity's sake, I'm glad that it stayed faithful to the original source material. But I liked it. It just was a little too bloody for me. But there's one thing about the subtle, bloody, brutality, I guess, if you want to call it, that you see in Walking Dead. And then this one was just a little stronger and a little bit more impacting. Mm-hmm. But I still enjoyed it. And I've been keeping up with the CW shows, even though I have to say half of them are losing my interest.
So far, the only one that I'm still watching, since the writers of The Flash decided that they were going to make Barry a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, Barry, talk to him, feel his heart. I'm like, oh God, I'm out of here. Is the new Superman show? It's fantastic.
Right, it is. It's Superman show is literally the diamond in the rough. It has what the Superman show is doing is it's taking the lead from the Arrow show. See, DC didn't have the rights at the time because of film. They didn't have the rights at the time and the acquisition to have a Batman show on television. They could do an animated version, but they couldn't do a live action.
Mhm.
So, obviously the Green Arrow show was the Batman.
Mhm.
And when they started to create the quote unquote Arrowverse, when Flash came up, that was his Superman. And it became a very strong, tight knit universe. There was the crossovers, there was the few crisis, on and on and on. They started to get really intricate with the DC characters. You would see a lot of them come up on DC Legends, which used to be my favorite one, but it got a little silly. And it started. I won't say it lost my interest. I'm still hanging on, but I wasn't. It's not what it was in the beginning. Let's just put it that way. When they had Rip Hunter on the show, it was great. When they had the JSA on the show, I was freaking out.
Oh yeah.
Just like when Stargirl appeared, they're starting to be a little faithful to their source material, which I think is good. What is that, Jeff Johns? They're faithful to their source material. Shows like Supergirl, Black Lightning, Batwoman, I could pretty much do without a lot of the political agenda and a lot of the hidden message. I like a comic book show. If you're going to do a comic show, make it comic worthy, have continuity to it, give some strength to it. Otherwise, it just you might as well be watching, the Real Housewives of DC, because it's. I only really hang on to the shows. I hate to say, I only really hang on to these shows because of one character, and I like to see the progression. On the Black Lightning show, I like what is his name, Gamby. I think he's a great, he's a fantastic actor. Supergirl, anything to do with the Martian Manhunter is okay in my book. I'm trying to think. Batwoman. Now, there's the Fox character, and I have a feeling that he's going to do something and become a hero in the future. There's been rumors, and I've always had that feeling that something's going to pop up. So I'm kind of waiting for that a little bit. I have to say that's the worst show of the bunch, and I feel bad about that because it really had the most potential, but
it had the most potential. The problem was the actress that they cast in the beginning.
Yeah.
She has this thing where she's only good for like 5 to 9 episodes of a show.
Yeah.
And then she flutters away.
I personally feel that from an LGBT standpoint, okay, I get it. Character is, it falls into that genre. They represented it okay in the beginning, but then they were trying to entice a non-comic audience, and they went a little too far. I thought that what was the actress's name? Ruby Rose, I think it was.
Yeah.
She wasn't built enough. She was heavily tattooed. She was too squeaky in the part. It wasn't believable. The actress that they have now is decent, but I think that the supporting cast is letting her down. So in the beginning, the supporting cast was holding the line, and now I think they've hired a good actress, and the supporting cast is kind of holding her back. And I think that the actress that plays Alice, which is supposed to be her Joker, she was too comical in the first season, and in this season, she's more grounded. She has more of a backstory. She's no longer, Batwoman's sister. So she's become more of a anti-hero, anti-villain type character. But again, the supporting cast is holding them back. I think what DC needs to do with their CW shows is where they've already proven that they can do crisis shows and crisis events. What they really need to do is start expanding their universe. It would be interesting to have Supergirl pop in on Batwoman and realize that, well, hey, this is a brand new Batwoman. What happened to the original? And, do a little bit of fighting and on and on and on. Or, some of the characters that were on the Arrow show, all those heroes are basically, persona non grata. It would be nice to see a little bit more crossover. In the comics, it was always special to say, oh, guest starring Spider-Man, guest starring the Avengers, guest starring the Fantastic Four, whatever. The only two shows, in my opinion, I still kind of like Flash for the main character. They just lost two of their supporting cast. Well, actually three, if you want to count Elongated Man that happened a while back, but they lost a couple of their supporting casts. We're going to see how strained it becomes. They're going to rely on him heavily. But the only two shows that really show the most promise to me is Stargirl and Superman and Lois.
Yeah, and they released a trailer for Stargirl because she's supposed to start up in August.
Right.
And they show that Green Lantern's daughter shows up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've been waiting to see what was going to happen because in the first season, every once in a while, the lantern would start to glow in her closet. And I'm like,
right.
Okay, what's going on?
I'm also anxious to see what happens with the with Dr. Midnight's goggles. They got destroyed mostly at the end of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the young girl that played the new Dr. Midnight was relying on them heavily. She was a shy girl, and she picked up the goggles and became friends with Wesley Dodds. And then that's like her security blanket, and she lost him at the end. So I'm wondering how they're going to recover from that, because honestly, those goggles, that's like their version of Jarvis inside of Iron Man's armor.
Yeah.
So, I'm very anxious. And I'm also anxious to see some of the interesting choices that they have. Joel McHale, the comedian, being Sylvester is fantastic. The Star Spangled Kid. Mm-hmm. And now he's playing, I guess, a second part on the show, which is interesting. They just introduced that at the last episode. And, in my opinion, when I love shows that have ensemble casts, I always have. But, everything from MASH to Cheers to whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But in this case, this supporting cast hasn't failed the star. Because there are times when the supporting cast is not good enough, and you pray that the star comes in and saves the day. In this case, they've all done such a phenomenal job that it might be a Stargirl show, but it is definitely a new JSA show.
Yeah, the first episode of that show, I was just screaming at the top of my lungs. Oh my God! Oh my God! It's this guy!
Yep.
Grundy! Oh!
Yep.
It was like, can they make the movie now?
Isn't it kind of funny that the CW shows, if you could binge watch a CW show, let's say like I don't know, Stargirl. Let's say you let it go for a while and then you pick it up on the CW. They're like 8 hour. There's like 8 to 10 hours in a season, maybe even longer. Like DC Legends, there was one season I think was 20 episodes, 21 episodes, but yet they have such a hard time with big name stars doing a 3-hour movie. I mean, no offense, but I would rather. I think that they should have started crossing over the CW characters with the with the films. They didn't have a Batman. They didn't have a Wonder Woman. They didn't have an Aquaman. So obviously those are great stars. I'm not a fan of Henry Cavill as Superman. So, and they've got a great Superman on Superman and Lois. He has such a great look. Hell, even Brandon Routh was a great Superman. I love the way that they made him into a sort of a Kingdom Come Superman for his universe.
Oh yeah! As soon as I saw that suit, I was like, "Oh!"
I think that the fans, the studios themselves, Marvel, DC, Image, they're all introducing new versions of the characters. They're race swapping, they're gender swapping, they're messing with continuity. But every time a new generation comes up, there's always a crisis. There's always a heroes reborn. There's always a fresh start. Hey, look, it's Spider-Man 1 all over again. Peter gets bitten, and, Captain America is now a war hero from another war. And, the Punisher's family gets killed by, another group or another way or whatever. I think because those sales were so incredible back when comics were in their golden and silver ages, they should be, putting these characters out with the original stories, keep the original continuity.
Mm-hmm.
They captivated an audience to the point where the fathers and the grandfathers are telling their children, "Oh my God, you wouldn't believe the one time when Batman wore the multicolor costume, or the Lone Ranger went up against the mechanical monster, or I remember seeing Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk," and on and on and on and on. And people are being introduced to it like it's a retro thing, but I really feel like these are the things that could actually bring better fans, stronger fans back into the market. I don't really see too many older collectors as much as I used to, buying new items, at least anyway.
Yeah, I think Western comics have gone so far off the deep end as far as new stuff goes. How they're, all the stuff they're doing, they're tokenizing as many characters as they can to, give somebody, a sense of being in the book.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same, they're doing the same thing in the movies.
And do you want to hear something funny? And I just read this the other day. I always tell people the same standard line. Don't believe me. Go look it up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest franchise in collectibles has been the same, never reinvented itself, and been the strongest since its creation, including up until today, and has future plans to keep going. Marvel, DC, Image, Star Wars, all pale in comparison. Pokemon has done something like $95 billion worth of sales ever since it started.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep reinventing yourself. I remember doing an article for a magazine. I was interviewed, and I said, which I got a lot of crap for online. I even got horrible mail, but I said that Marvel and DC are like costume shops. Whoever can fit the costume can wear it. Whatever story becomes available. It's like, hey, look, it's on television, the news, or hey, look, it's in the newspaper, ripped from the headlines. Let's put this guy into the costume and make him the new Spider-Man, the new Captain America, the new Superman. It's an alternate Earth guy. It's, this guy come from, the future, on and on and on. Very convoluted and very diluted. These characters aren't add water and stir. These characters were slow cooked to perfection.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the Spider-Man costume has outlasted Peter Parker 100 times over. And look how many different Supermans and Batmans there's been, and on and on and on. And I don't just mean fantasy stories like the Silver Age Batmans and Supermans. I mean part of continuity.
Oh yeah.
I just saw a YouTube video only like minutes before I got on with you, and it was top 10 alternate versions of Spider-Man from the multiverse. And then it was before that, it was the top 10 people who have worn the Batman costume. And then it was the top 10 people who were Superman, and on and on and on. You don't have to keep reinventing yourself. The characters are strong enough to continue. And that brings me back to the point I was making in the beginning. They're doing decent with the CW, and the characters are strong. I'm surprised that they don't bring them into the DC universe of films.
Well, they're not doing that, but they moved Diggle and his wife from Arrow because of her job with the government.
Right.
They moved them to Metropolis. So
Right.
at some point, they've been on. I think he's been on like once, like in a quickie spot.
Yeah, he was in the Batwoman show in the last episode.
I don't even watch that anymore because I just look and I go, bleh.
Well, if you get a chance, it's worth seeing him. I watched it. And he says who he is, and he finds out about the Batwoman hook with one of the side characters, and it's like saying, hey, I belong to the club too. I get what it is. Finger to the nose. Here's the secret. Okay, bye, type of thing. That one scene at the end of the show that he did last year, where he opens the box and finds something green inside. Everybody was saying that was, Green Lantern's ring, something along those lines. But one rumor that I heard from somebody who's in the industry that I have done work with in the past is they wonder if it's actually a piece of kryptonite. And that's the reason why he moved to Metropolis. If you think about it, he opens up the box and it's glowing green. And there happens to be a character, on the Superman and Lois show that fought against Superman using kryptonite. And he came from an alternate Earth. So I'm wondering if the fans are going to be, fooled by that. I don't know if he's going to be the Green Lantern or if it's possibly a piece of kryptonite and he's getting lured there because of his wife's job.
I think his wife's job probably has plenty of kryptonite, but I think he's still going to be Green Lantern because at the end of the Arrow run, if you remember, his last name is Diggle, but that's because he never took his stepfather's last name of Stewart.
Right. Yep.
And then the green glow. So I know like all the rumors and hearsay that I heard, with them moving to Metropolis and going to be reoccurring guest stars was that he was going to be the Green Lantern of the CW TV series.
Well, I hope that that's what it is, but like I said, I've heard some interesting stuff. They've changed on us before.
Oh, so
yeah. We'll have to see,
Oh, yeah, the WB bait and switch, yeah.
Well,
that's never been done.
The other thing that's interesting is that I saw some pictures direct from the set of him being a part of the DC Legends show coming up. I guess it's the new season, and he plays Bass Reeves in one of the episodes. It's a time travel episode. Well, they're all time travel episodes, but he plays Bass Reeves in one of the episodes. Just like I say, I always tell people, look online. Don't take my word for it. There's a picture of him in his cowboy outfit in a Western setting with that big brushy mustache that Bass Reeves had. and he's credited as being Bass Reeves, not Diggle. So I wonder how they're going to do that.
Are they now? My question, because they're putting him in a cowboy costume with the mustache and everything, but I would die laughing if they threw any one-liners in from Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which was ahead of its time, but you could never show that today.
Oh, I know. I remember seeing the meme last year. Blazing Saddles is on tonight on CBS, and it's been edited for your safety and content. It will run from 8 p.m. to 8:07.
Yeah. Yeah. We live in a very strange time, don't we?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And the hard part about, I think the funny thing is, and the hard part about it is, people don't seem to understand that we're not all teenagers and we're not all millennials. We're not used to this kind of change. We grew up in a different way. I don't have enough time left in my life to learn a whole new way of speaking, a whole new way of thinking, a whole new way of acting. Sometimes change takes a long time, and I think everybody is demanding this change right now. I think that's why there's so much opposition to the change.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sorry, but I am who I am, and I'm not changing for anybody. And if that messes up somebody's day, there's always tomorrow.
Yep.
So.
Oh well, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out on the card set that there is a tier for $45 where you can get 3 dinosaur sets and sketch cards.
Yes.
They make a wonderful present.
Well, I got to tell you, there's something very unusual about the set. We started doing this. It's never been done before in the hobby. We did it with our Wizard of Oz set, and we had great luck with it. Usually when you buy a set of cards, you get the set, and then you get like a sketch card with it, which is great. It's an add-on. It's an insert card, they would say, or a special. But in this case, the sketch card is numbered as actually one of the cards in the set. So this is not an insert card. Every set has a sketch card. And if you think about it, just like with the playing cards before, this is a numbered card. So for this card set, the card is numbered actually right in, I hate the monitors. It's actually numbered right here in the bottom. And when every one of rendition of that card. So somebody might have a number 10 card with my art on it. Somebody might have a number 10 with Jay Moore's. Someone might have a number 10 with Bianca Thompson, or one of the other fantastic artists on the set. And that's the great special part to it. You can't just buy a set and then sell the sketch card. You'd be breaking up the set. It's actually part of the set.
Yeah, it's a random sketch card, but it's numbered into that set.
That's it. And I've actually had some fantastic compliments on coming up with that idea. Think about it. It makes each set special. What's your number 10? Oh, I have a Marco Carrillo card. What's your 10? I have a Sir Lester Griffin card. How about you? I have a Dan Gorman or a Brad Linder card. It's all different, and each set is unique in that respect.
and this I just stumbled across opening up more updates. The very limited Color Me Dinosaur sketch. Color Me Dinosaur sticker, rather.
That was a special holdover we had fantastic luck. A couple of years that I had gone to Wizard, we had done Color Me cards. They were black and white cards, one with Trouble and then one with Mac from Mac and Trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And we have another one coming up for our symbol character. But this sticker is specially coded. People can use this for colored pencils and crayons, and it wipes off. We decided we were going to try something very different with these. We've had great luck with the Color Me stuff. People really seem to like it. It brings a nice quality in for the children as well as the collector, and it's sized to the point where people can put them in their 9-pocket card pages as well. It's die cut, and it has a very cool surface to it. It almost feels like vinyl.
Yeah, so it's almost like a sticker version of a whiteboard.
Right. It's actually it's something that we're testing with this set that we plan to continue with other sets, and much like the prototype card, I always tell people, hey, get in on the ground floor. There's only 10 or 12, 15, whatever it is that there are made. That it's something unusual. Every campaign that we do, I try to bring in some very unusual limited collectibles that are very close to trading cards. This one is sized to where it'll fit into a card page. The playing card will fit in as well. When the sketch card is folded over, it will. There's the sketch cover. You can see there's Terry Pavlitt's, one of his sketch covers opposite that. There's some fantastic stuff coming too. We have some original art that's going to be added soon. And one of the other things that we're doing with this campaign, because you got to remember that we're only in the first couple of days of the campaign. It's a 60-day campaign. But one of the other things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing special interviews and special promos. We're going to be showing artwork that was work in progress, photos that were sent in right from the desk of the artist. A lot of the artists was of, them holding up the card, or they'd show the black and white before they colored, or, hey, how do the pencils look, or whatever. A lot of that stuff is going to be shown as part of the campaign. It's fun to see things in progress, the work in progress. So we're going to be featuring a lot of the artists in interviews as well. We have a few of the mini interviews scheduled already.
Oh, I might have a liking for some of that.
I enjoy the peeks behind the curtain,
Oh yeah, and there's a cool little opportunity over here from some guy named Rusty, who's got a sketch cover of the land that time forgot.
Right. We actually have some dinosaur covers. I had personally picked up through a special deal with a charity run by a good friend of mine, John Rogers. It's called Comic Book Covers for Cancer. And I did covers for him, and I did a special deal. We picked up a number of those Land Before those. What is it? It's Land Before. What is
the Land That Time Forgot?
Thank you. The Land That Time Forgot. I always get it confused with Lost World and a few of the others. But anyway, so the Land That Time Forgot covers. There was also a Turok cover. If you scroll, I don't know if it's up or down. One of the Terry Pavlitt covers is a Turok cover. But we tried to dinosaur theme the covers as well. Aside from the I've done a couple, but only one is up there right now. Aside from myself, there's Terry Pavlitt and Jay Moore.
Yeah, his was right underneath yours. Yeah,
and then Matt Parton is also going to be. He'll have covers up there, and then there's another cover, a couple of covers from artists that haven't done them yet. One of which is a good friend of mine, Brad Linder, is going to be doing a cover as well. So, like I said, most campaigns are goal-worthy, reward-worthy. This is a living campaign. It keeps growing with the fan support. We've changed prices on a couple of things. We've added things. There's also hidden rewards and hidden add-ons. If somebody, say, wants that cover, clicking that cover to get it, then comes up add-ons and secret rewards that aren't on the first main page.
Oh, nice.
So they can pick up, like, for example, we have our sealed coronavirus card. Only 100 of those were made, and that's one of the hidden rewards. There's also photos and promos from our past conventions, and some other items as well. And then there's the regular items that are there, but then discounted and posted. So if they want to buy more than one.
Yeah. And this was just stuff from the updates, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that was, and now we got to go back to the actual campaign.
Yeah. If you go down, you'll actually see the goals. We've hit all of the original goals in the first couple of days that we posted, and we have some new goals that were just set yesterday.
Oh, nice! I really like the signed laser cut wooden card.
I hope it catches on, because it's a very unique card, and we had a lot of fun with that. The laser artist that had done the work with me, was because that's my piece of artwork on there, is fantastic. So I'm really excited to see something like that.
Yeah, and there's only 10 of these available, and 3 of them have already been claimed.
Yeah,
and I think they look really cool, because it almost gives like that prehistoric Flintstones vibe.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not just that picture is a little deceiving, because people don't know. Let me slide off camera here for 1 second. People don't know that those actually have a slight color to them. Boy, I got to get up into this cabinet. Hold on a second here. Oh,
sure.
They actually have a slight color to them, and it makes them a little bit more attractive than just the plain wood. Let me see if I can find one here. These have actually been they have a slight hue to them.
Oh, that's nice.
There's an orange, there's a blue, there's a purple, and this is signed, stamped rare, and this one is 9 out of 10.
That's very cool.
They are thick wood, and they're pretty thick and rugged.
Yeah, that's almost like the stuff we used to get in like our old wood burning sets.
Yes, exactly. As a matter of fact, that was the original prototype for that was done with a wood burning, and then it turned into someone who had a laser cutter, a laser cutter artist that we work with, and that turned out to be a fantastic add-on for the set. I'm really excited for people to get them in their hands.
And here is a ginormous list on the campaign page of all the artists that have jumped on board and done work for this.
Yes. This is in all honesty, this is a great list of artists. These are hardworking guys, I'm telling you, and gals, excuse me, I apologize. I get into that mode where I say guys all the time, and I mean everybody, but I don't want to offend anyone at the same time.
Yeah, well, that was a 70s slogan. You would go out into a crowd of mixed people and go, "Come on, you guys, let's come over here."
Right.
And it wasn't to be like, "You girls stay there." No, we want the girls to come with us.
Yeah. So, but I should mention the laser artist that we worked with. His name is Jeffrey Allen Crump, and he is a fantastic artist, and he does some beautiful laser work. So this will be, this is his first work with us on these cards, doing those laser cards. There you go with the goals. See, we've hit every one.
Smashing them all.
Yeah, I'm glad too. I really am. We've had great success with our past sets, but I will say, to be fair, it comes with a price, because our pulp set we had a lot of problems with. It was our most successful set in recent years, but we had a lot of problems with the pulp set. The printer shipped the cards, and some of the cards came completely soaked, like they were sitting in the rain. The boxes were destroyed. The printer reprinted the cards, and then when we got them late, they were lost, and we had to keep delaying the set. Other cards were sitting on a loading dock in another state. It was very strange, and they weren't moving. Finally, when we got all the cards together, the post office was closed because of the quarantine.
Oh, that's terrible.
So we had a mess on our hands, and unfortunately, there were some angry fans, and I feel bad for them, and I didn't want them to think that we neglected them or think that we were, being lazy, but it's hard,
So tell us about the July 4th day special.
Going to be doing some special contests, and we have some free giveaways that are going to come with every order on July 4th, including special sketch cards and special drawings. And there's going to be an item placed in every one of the packages for the contributors, a signed item. And we're going to be introducing like 5 or 10 new rewards.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, when we celebrate red, white, and blue, we celebrate it big.
Oh, yeah. And then after that, we have the $1,250 goal. One sketch card from every artist will be stamped rare.
Right. A lot of companies basically, like, for example, I do sketch cards for other companies as well. And let's say I'll do 20 cards for a company. The sketch cards are rare. There's no question about it. One out of every 50 packs, one out of every 72 packs, whatever it breaks down. Cards like Bianca Thompson at Artists Assemble, she runs the Back to Retro sets, and those have a sketch card in, with every order. And, so it runs the gamut of how you do it. We're going to take one sketch card from each artist and have the card stamped rare. So this brings up almost like a second tier of sketch cards. So imagine 10 people get my sketch card, but one of them gets my sketch card stamped rare. So it goes a little further. We did something sort of like this on the pulp set. There were artist proofs, and then there were rare artist proofs. And those worked out in our favor. The artists loved them, and some of the fans who I've done commissions for loved them. But this puts a little bit more into the fans' hand. Rather than seeking a commission or looking for the special cards online from the artist, somebody might actually get this higher tier of sketch card.
And then three more cards will be I can't read the print. I got to go to the other page.
There'll be 3 more cards will be added to the set. So basically,
okay, there we go.
Yeah, so basically, it'll wind up being a larger set as time goes on. We've also had good luck with that. The Wizard of Oz set started out with 9 cards and wound up being 36 at the end of the campaign.
Wow.
Just because of that. So
Yeah, that's the same thing that, if you're doing a comic book on one of these Indiegogos or Kickstarters, and if, one of the stretch goals will probably be, reach like 2K, and we'll add like another 8 pages of story.
Right. That's what we did with the Symbol comic, and it was that was also a fantastic campaign as well.
And then it shows some of your recent trading card campaigns. Sexy, Scary Space. I almost thought it said Pace, and I go, wait, I have a card set? Not quite. I know it's not mine because it says sexy in the title. That one was funded 610% a goal.
Yep.
The offset was 211% a goal, and the Mac and Trouble Ruined the Golden Age was 121% a goal. So all very successful campaigns.
Especially, the funny thing about the Mac and Trouble set, that was back when Mac and Trouble weren't known as well. The film wasn't coming, the film wasn't even announced yet. Nothing was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it went up against some pretty stiff competition. So, like I said before, there was a lot of hard work put into the 120-something%. To me, that was just as successful as if it was a 600%er.
Oh, yeah. And
sometimes the lesser-known things have more to them than the well-known things.
Yeah, and out of the three right there, I'm attracted because I'm seeing like old comic book panels and Mac in Trouble, of course.
I should, if I can, I don't know if I have any more, but if I dig up one, I'll make sure that you get one. That was that set was a lot of fun. We actually took Golden Age covers and inserted Mac and Trouble into each and personalized them as if they were in the book. Dan Gorman, who's a fantastic comic book artist, and myself worked really hard on specific poses and specific angles so that when we merged them and we did the coloring, they matched everything that they went in. They appeared on a Daredevil cover where they were swimming, and a Target Comics cover where they were running with the Target character. They were peeking in the window for Phantom Lady. They were peeking in around a corner for the High School Romance comic. So, we had to match everything. A lot of footwork with that. It was not just like putting a comic book together. This was actually us going back in time and inserting ourselves into that artist's vision for the cover.
Yeah, and finding the right blend of everything. Yeah.
And we even used their color palettes for our work.
Wow, that's tough, getting a hold of their color palettes from way back when.
Yeah, it was there was a couple of them we had to fake, but we did a pretty good job, I think. Dan's artwork is phenomenal, and the colors that we both did worked out really well.
Well, this looks fantastic, and I mean, everybody loves dinosaurs.
Well, let's hope so.
It's going good so far. Like you said, you're only a few days into the project, but we're gonna keep sharing it out, and I'm gonna keep sharing the main page link out, and I'll try to get it up like once a week over onto the Outright Geekery page on Facebook, and I'll share it all over my Twitterverse and stuff like that.
Well, I appreciate that a lot. I really want to see this be a success. We have a lot more items and a lot more cards to add to the set, and I would like to see it grow with the fans' enthusiasm. And like we tell everybody, our campaigns are like magazines. When they go back, they're not going to see the same setup each time. Next week, there's going to be more digital cards. There's going to be a couple of rewards that are going to be up that haven't been there before. There will always be new goals. There's a dinosaur holiday that's coming up that we're going to do something special for. We're going to announce it like a day or two in advance. We just put up a special dinosaur puzzle online. It's on my Facebook page and the Rusty Ink, which is my studio page. It's also on Twitter, Tumblr, MeWe, and a number of other social media sites. Some online forums have it as well. And those digital cards are everywhere right now. We actually just shared over 30 different digital cards on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
So we're giving away a lot. We're really trying to entertain, This isn't just print and dump. This is print and interact. We like audience participation, and there's a contest coming up where the audience gets to interact with the dinosaurs.
Well, as long as they don't get eaten, I'm sure they'll love it.
Well, I don't know. There's some weird people out there getting eaten. I don't know.
Yeah. We won't go back into that rabbit hole.
Thank you.
But I want to thank you so much for coming on and hanging out and talking comic book shows and dinosaurs and.
Well, I appreciate you letting me rattle on.
Hey,
you're a good friend.
Oh, always a good time when you get to hang out with you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So I'd like to thank you very much. A little later on, this will be up available for downloadable podcast, and I will tag you on both Twitter and Facebook once those are up.
That's great. Now, my Facebook is public. You don't have to be friends to go up and look for me on Facebook, and we always post artwork that we're doing, the campaign. I'm going to be posting stuff about the film that I'm in this week, and I'm also going to be running a contest for everybody on my Facebook page, and that's public. So make sure everybody out there gets a chance to look and take part and have fun.
Yeah, go check out Rusty Gilligan's Facebook page. If you're a Twitter person, you can follow him at Mac and Trouble, all one word. And the link for the Indiegogo is in the chat. It's also in the show notes up above or down below, depending whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube. Rusty, thanks for coming on. I wish you all the success with this. I can't wait to see where it goes. Everybody, go over to the Indiegogo. If you can't afford to purchase something at this particular time, please share it out on all your social media platforms so your friends can see it.
Thank you very much, my friend.
And still sign up for the mailing list. That way you can know when things are added, and you can check out all the good stuff that's coming in the next few weeks for this as well. So we thank you for being here, and the viewers that were here tonight that watched, because we were at least you were entertaining. I was just me, and hopefully they saw something they liked, and we'll go check it out, and we'll see you all again real soon. Everybody have a great night.
Good night, everybody.